Hey everyone. Okay, so I did say that I was going to be mixing up videos, that I wasn't just going to be showing VRT videos, that I was also going to be showing videos on the FRS. So I'm going to give a quick update as to where we stand with the FRS. So, okay, where to start? Plans. I'm putting a 2-valve all aluminum 2-valve Ford 4.6 with a 4R75E transmission. Both will be controlled with standalone controllers. And so here's the FRS. I replaced the fenders because the fender on the passenger side got damaged when my wife backed out of the driveway. Stock engine. New engine. Alright, this is an all aluminum 4.6 liter block. There's the old transmission to the vr6. That right there is part of a intake manifold from an F-150. That is the other part, and this is how this is going to work. This is an aluminum intake manifold for the 4.62 valve with the PI, the improved heads, the power improved heads. And what is up with that? I think this lens is dirty. I'm gonna have to clean that. Oh yeah, this lens is dirty. Alright, I'll clean that. I'll fix that. Okay, so I've cut it in half. I'll have this decked, and I'll be welding tubes onto a supercharger. I have an M122 supercharger that I got an excellent deal on it's off of an STSV Cadillac. And here is the turbo that I will be using to start off with on the VRT project. It's a TO4E 50 trim. No, I'm sorry, 56 trim. 56 or 57? I don't remember. I bought it a long time ago. It was CX Racing Turbo from a long time ago. I had actually built it. You can see where it's mounted right now. This is the stock muffler from the FRS. Back when I lived in California and you really couldn't do anything before the cats and get away with it, I had built a stealth turbo design, rear mount. It would have looked like it was completely stock except for a cold air intake, which it has right now. Here, I'll show you. It has a Perrin cold air intake. I was going to just connect that underneath the front bumper with an intercooler, and I was just going to run it from the back, from the muffler, the turbo in the muffler, up to the front into the intercooler, and then up into the Perrin intake. Obviously, I've since decided not to follow through with that since I'm doing the engine swap. So I have the aluminum block. I'm going to clean that off. I just got a set of King main bearings for the mains. I pulled that engine had 2 spun rod bearings, so that crank was no good. So I went ahead and, you know what, give me a second. I want to try to clean this off. Is that better? Yeah, that's better. So the rod bearings were spun, so the crank was no good, so I went and pulled another engine out of an 09 Police Interceptor Crown Vic and pulled that crankshaft out, so I have a perfectly good crankshaft to put in. I've checked all the clearances on the cylinders with a dial bore gauge, and I just got my King Ming bearings in today. There's the supercharger, the M122. So what I'll be doing, since this was made specifically for the STSV, it's made to go directly into the onto the intake manifold, or onto the heads. So we'll be cutting all of these off and machining them back here and here, and then at the intercooler, because this came with an intercooler, the intercooler ports that come down into here, let me show you. So you have the intercooler ports, the intake in the back goes in, supercharger pushes it out in through the intercooler, and then out the intercooler ports. At these intercooler ports, I'm going to build a plate, a 1/4-inch aluminum plate that'll sandwich in between the supercharger here and the intercooler. So the supercharger here, this will all be gone, and here, and then I'll weld tubes from that down to the intakes, the aluminum intakes on the intake that I cut down. So the ports on the aluminum intake that I cut down will be there, and I've got to. There'll be a lot, and I'll show videos on every step of the way. Here's another thing for that. Let me power this up, because I will be doing a custom dash, and so I'll be doing a standalone ECU. So I bought a little computer and a spare FRS dash, which I will be taking apart. It's hard to do this with one hand. So I will be taking this completely apart and cutting this down, and then 3D printing. I have 4 3D printers. I will be 3D printing. So anyways, I'll be cutting this here and here all the way across, and I'll be 3D printing a new face plate that I'll leave these gauges on. I'll probably cover that gauge up, and everything will be done through using Real Dash on my Megasquirt 3. There's my Megasquirt 3 X. It's the extra. So I'll be using that as a standalone controller. Custom dashboard using Real Dash. That does not show up anywhere near as well as it looks in person on camera. Anyways, so I'll be building that in behind the 3D printed design that I'll be doing. The next thing you guys are going to see is a video where I custom make. So I bought an extra lower intake manifold for the VRT, and I will be taking a picture of this with a ruler next to it, so that I can bring it into CAD and design an upper intake manifold for it, and then 3D print it. I'll be 3D printing and testing an upper intake manifold for the VRT project. So we'll be doing that. What else? You'll probably be seeing a test drive of the vr6 today on this video. I'll go out and I'll do a test drive and run some pulls as it sits stock. That vr6 has some torque, even stock. So I'm looking forward to seeing it with the turbo on it, once I get the turbo on it. That's pretty much it for now, I think. I can show you guys the 4R75 transmission that I have. I'll be doing a J-mod on it and then putting a really big trans cooler on it so it can handle the power. So there's the 4R75E. That's out of a 2009 Crown Vic. Had a lot of the upgrades already done. The J-mod will improve it a little bit more in some areas. And then of course, automatic transes, you keep them cool and they'll stay together for the most part. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, so I think that should do for now. Alright, let's see. Wish it wouldn't cut out my music when I go to record a video. Nowhere near as fast as it's going to be with the turbo. Alright. Alright, I want to listen to music, so I am going to cut you guys off.